Good evening and welcome. I call to order the Lake Havasu City Council regular meeting on Tuesday, August 26th, 2025 at 5:30 p.m. We'll have an invocation from Pastor David Jackson with Hilltop Church, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance led by Kim Sterling with #YouMatter.
Let's have a word of prayer. Gracious Heavenly Father, we just thank you for our city council. We thank you for the men and women who serve our city. We pray that you bless them, bless their homes, bless their lives, Lord, bless their other endeavors, their businesses. We just pray that they handle themselves with dignity and respect here, and that we are unified and we make decisions that are best for our city and ultimately that glorify your name and the people of Havasu, Lord. We love you in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you for joining us. If you'd like to share a little bit about #YouMatter with us.
Just quickly, thank you very much, Mayor and City Council. My name is Kim Sterling, and I'm here this evening to talk about #YouMatter. This is a suicide awareness team. We are under the umbrella of the Havasu Community Health Foundation. And we work together as a team to provide ongoing community awareness, collaboration, and prevention concerning the cause and impact of suicide among students, adults, and veterans in our community. We have been successful in doing so through our annual suicide awareness and prevention walk and the free programs that we offer to the Lake Havasu City community. Our YouMatter members want to arm the community with the knowledge to support and help a person before it is too late by empowering the community to recognize warning signs for suicide and how to get help that can save a life. The team aims to help people struggling with thoughts of suicide and to help their family, friends, and loved ones before they make a permanent decision. We're very excited to announce our 9th annual YouMatter Suicide Awareness Walk on September 13th here at Rotary Park. We're going to be meeting at Ramada C at 7:30 in the morning for the kickoff, and all of the proceeds will be going to fund a community speaker in January of next year. Over the last 9 years, our team has provided peer-to-peer support groups to survivors of suicide and sponsored professional speakers to share their messages with our community. Former Harlem Globetrotter and motivational speaker Melvin Adams spoke to our students and school faculty at the Lake Havasu High School. Katie McPherson, a community mental health advocate, has appeared twice in our community to speak on her work in school leadership and youth mental health initiatives to help us navigate digital wellness with our youth and mental health advocacy. Kevin Hines, an American suicide prevention speaker who attempted suicide by jumping from the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco, California, came to our community and shared his insights and experiences related to mental health and suicide prevention. These individuals have dedicated their lives to encouragement and support, and their stories have inspired and educated us. They have provided valuable resources and strategies for coping and connection with others who may be struggling. Looking ahead, I encourage you to attend our community events, engage in conversations, and share what you've learned with others. Together, we can break the stigma surrounding mental health and create a community where everyone feels valued and supported. Let's continue to work together to raise awareness and save lives. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for all the great work that YouMatter is doing in our community.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Item 3 on the agenda is our roll call. Ms. Williams, if you please call the roll.
Council members Nancy Campbell.
Here.
Jenny Koch.
Here.
Jim Dolan.
Here.
David Diaz.
Here.
Cameron Moses.
Here.
Vice Mayor Michelle Lynn.
Here.
Mayor Kalshihi.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item 5 is our consent agenda. Would any of the council members like to remove any of the items for separate discussion?
Mayor,
Councilmember Koch,
motion.
please.
Move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
We have a motion from Councilmember Koch, a second from Councilmember Moses. We are ready to vote.
Aye.
Thank you.
Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you. Item 6 is correspondence, communications, petitions, announcements, and the city manager report. Item 6.1 is to announce the vacancies on the Lake Havasu City boards, committees, and commissions. Ms. Williams?
Mayor and City Council, this item is to announce vacancies on the Havasu City boards, committees, and commissions. There's currently one alternate member vacancy on the Board of Adjustment. Anyone interested can pick up a packet at City Hall, and they are also available on the city's website at www.lhcaz.gov. Thank you.
Thank you. Item 6.2 is our city manager's report. Good evening, Mr. Knudsen.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, City Council. I want to start off with a recognition of an event or activity that took place this morning. Thanks to the Marine Corps League Detachment 757, service to honor the 13 U.S. service members who were killed in Kabul, Afghanistan on August 26, 2021 took place. A proclamation from the Mayor's office, along with support from City Council members, our citizens, and city staff. We all helped pay a tribute to remember and honor the 13 that perished that day. Tonight, in honor of them, we will light the London Bridge red, white, and blue in their memory. Congratulations to our Parks and Recreation Director, Gabby Berra, on receiving the Arizona Parks and Recreation Young Professional Award. This prestigious award recognizes and highlights her outstanding leadership, innovation, and dedication to our community. Under her guidance, Parks and Recreation continues to thrive and expand programs and opportunities that enrich the lives of our residents of all ages. And we are very, very proud to celebrate this well-deserved honor with her. So these are pictures from just last night. Thank you, Mayor Shee, for accompanying me as we drove 3.5 hours there, attended the dinner and the award, and then drove straight back last night. So well worth the trip to recognize Gabby for her excellence. Speaking of excellence, we have 4 employees to recognize this evening. In honor of Safe and Sound Week 2025, we would like to proudly recognize outstanding emergency response efforts by our employees. Neil Piggott at my class quickly responded when they noticed a side-by-side vehicle on fire in a parking lot. Using the fire extinguishers from their trucks, they put out the fire before it could spread, and the vehicle's owners praised their swift actions, and thankfully, no injuries were reported. So this is quick acting employees coming from our Parks and Rec maintenance team. Additionally, Eric Agosto and Grant Fitzgerald were first on the scene of a vehicle accident. Before fire units arrived, they had already set up approximately 20 cones and blocked the southbound lane, creating a safe area for our fire department to operate. Their prompt actions helped emergency crews safely position their apparatus on the highway and ensured a smoother response. Thank you to Neil, to Mike, Eric, and Grant for all your dedication, quick thinking, and doing what's right at the right time. So thank you. Lake Havasu City joins the nation in recognizing August 2025 as Child Support Awareness Month. We remain committed to supporting families, promoting the well-being of our children, and keeping their safety and security at the forefront. In recognition of this important cause, Mayor Shee proclaimed August 2025 as Child Support Awareness Month in Lake Havasu City. A big thank you to the Havasu Preparatory Academy, HPA, for sponsoring a free swim at the Lake Havasu City Aquatic Center just this past Sunday. It was a wonderful opportunity for our families to have fun and enjoy the pool free of charge thanks to HPA. Our community truly appreciates your generous support and commitment to bringing people together throughout the community. Labor Day weekend is coming up, the last official holiday of Havasu in the summer months, as city offices will be closed on Monday, September 1st in observance of Labor Day. Of course, police and fire services are always steadfast and at the ready, but administrative offices and the Aquatic Center will be closed on that day and will resume normal operation hours on Tuesday. Staying connected with our community is a top priority. Our community engagement officer, Jerry Bracamonte, and media coordinator, Steve Blake, work very, very hard to keep our residents informed and engaged. Right now, we're sharing a variety of great content on our social media pages, including the Faces of Havasu, That's What's Up Havasu, Traffic Tip Tuesday, and our new series, which is Havasu Works. We also have a fantastic turnout of applications for the launch of our inaugural Havasu Residence Academy. And last but not least, the coffee and with the mayor and city manager returns next month, although it will be on September 12th. It'll be the second Friday in September. Of course, this will continue to be a great opportunity for residents to connect with us directly. Please connect with us on Facebook and watch the videos and remain engaged. We'd love to, and then, of course, we want to hear our feedback from our residents, but we're trying to do more to be as transparent as possible, get the news out to everybody as much as possible, and to solicit that feedback. And then up next, Ron, if you want to step up, an opportunity for Ron Foggin as of course, our Public Works Director. And Ron has a PowerPoint, I believe, or some information to share with us about projects in Lake Havasu City.
I actually do have a PowerPoint. Mayor, Council, it's a pleasure to be here. An opportunity to share some highlights of what Public Works has accomplished over the last few months. Happy to be able to present that to you. First of all, we have an outstanding Public Works team. This picture was taken as part of our Public Works Appreciation Week in May, and we have a team that's committed, having fun. As you can, if you can see the picture, this is kind of our silly picture, but thought it was appropriate to share with you. But our team is fantastic. Some of the things that we've accomplished over the last couple of months that we're particularly wanting to highlight is we've created a new and renewed a parking lot. The Cypress parking, our park overflow, that parking lot was added, much needed for the impact of parking on the street and in front of homes in that area when sports fields are being used and mom and dad and grandma and grandpa are trying to watch their kids. Obviously, parking on the street was impacting the neighbors, so we were happy to be able to add a new parking lot. And then a much needed rehab of the London Bridge Beach parking lot was done, and ribbon cutting done for that recently. Our city fuel facility, I want to highlight this, as this is a city team that is using their combined knowledge to put this facility together. We expect the construction of this to be done in a couple weeks, actually. We're really proud of our streets and building maintenance folks for putting this together. Our automated water meter replacement program is going strong. We've been in it 5 months, been able to replace already 2,000 meters, which is really exceptional. We weren't sure how that was going to go, and our crews are doing a fantastic job. One day, crew members installed 50 meters, which is just phenomenal. So doing a great job with that program. Wanted to make sure that we highlighted a very big focus over the last couple of years has been water main replacement. We were able to replace 1,100 feet of water main, and just gearing up to replace almost same amount this year. And so looking forward to being able to continue this much needed effort. One of the big highlights is the $6 million investment the City Council has made in our streets. That investment included continuing our annual street chip sealing, our yearly crack sealing program. We did our second year of HA5 sealing. And then, of course, we were able to do street resurfacing. The main focus was Mesquite and the rest of the side streets in the city core. You remember we did the city core project last year. And so this has been a great opportunity to invest in our streets. And you're going to be seeing Jamaica presented as well. And that's that's going to be our next big project, followed by Acoma. So we're really happy to be able to be moving and improving our arterial and collector streets. Something that gets ignored I wanted to highlight is our continued critical wastewater lift station upgrades. The city has more than 70 lift stations throughout the community. This basically lifts sewer up and pumps it. And this is a program that's been ongoing. We continue to invest money in this critical infrastructure. And the most recent project was the Park Avenue lift station. Well 9 rehab is probably one of my favorite slides. This is actually a video of the pipe that collects the water, allows the water to come in the pipe and be pumped out. This is 130 feet, and you can see the buildup on that. After the cleaning and scrubbing happened on the pipe, we were able to increase the well production by 37%, which is phenomenal. And really, that adds to the stability of our water system. So great project, turned out wonderful. Wash improvement projects. I know we've been talking about the importance of wash improvements. We've done a great job over the last 10, 12 years. We've finished up 2 projects, and we're just getting ready to start another one, I believe, this week. So the wash projects are going well, doing a great job of protecting our community. Police facility improvements. This was phase 1, just kind of finishing up the punch list items on this. And then we're getting ready to move into phase 2, which will redo HVAC, fix the roof, and do some much needed interior improvement to our police facility. Probably next time I give an update, it will have more on the police facility, and several other projects in that, or at least another project concerning the police facility. Everybody's familiar with the Main Street Commons. Great projects, beautiful, a nice addition to the city, done in budget and on time, and was able to welcome Desert Storm for its first event. And then finally, I just want to mention the Public Works is taking a step. We've actually applied to be accredited with the American Public Works Association. And so we've pulled the trigger on that. They give you 3 years to complete all the activities in the accreditation. This really provides a best practice, sends a message that we are committed to the highest quality delivery of service. And so we're excited to do that. We've actually set a goal to do it in half the time. We'll see if we can accomplish that goal, but we're excited to be entering this opportunity. Frankly, we feel like we're doing all of the stuff that's being required in the accreditation. We might as well get credit for it. So with that, that's all I had. Mayor?
I want to thank you for the McCulloch South by putting that little, the striping right there that tells people just don't block this area. And I understand you're going to do a couple of more, but thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yep. Thank you. That's a big call out to the streets department. So.
Thank you, Mr. Foggin. Mr. Knudsen?
Mr. Foggin, thanks for all you do. I believe you have about, give or take, roughly around 40 projects throughout the community that are either in the design or construction phases that you and your team are managing, whether it's facilities, water, wastewater, or all the special projects and project management that's held by your team. So thank you, Mr. Foggin. Appreciate
it. Thank you.
And then lastly, Mayor and Council, I'd like to wrap up my report with a video from our Get to Know Your Park series. This evening, we have lots of parks. 17 of them. And this evening, we're going to highlight and listen to Vice Mayor Michelle Lynn as she showcases Mesquite Park, which, of course, is a family-friendly destination with children's playgrounds, picnic area, and a small little splash pad. Let's listen to what Vice Mayor Lynn has to say.
Hi, I'm Vice Mayor Michelle Lynn, and I'm at Mesquite Park located at 2140 Mesquite Avenue. This park features a children's playground, a small lawn area, picnic tables and benches, a perfect spot for families to relax and play. Mesquite Park is also home to a fun splash pad, making it a great destination for keeping cool on those hot Havasu days. Whether it's for a picnic, playtime, or just some fun outdoor fun, Mesquite Park is a fun spot in the heart of our city. Come check it out.
Yes, good job, Vice Mayor Lynn. Appreciate the reminder of how great Mesquite Park is for our community. And with that, Mayor and Council, that concludes my report for this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Knudsen. We'll move on to item 7, which is our public hearings. We have 4 public hearings this evening. During each of the public hearings, we will open it up to the public to engage in that conversation. If you want to participate in the conversation, we encourage you to just come to the podium, state your name for the record, and state your comments. There will be an indicator box on the screens throughout the room with a time indicator on that. And we just ask that you make your comments towards the council. We can have a two-way conversation at that point, and we encourage you to engage at that time. If your item is not on the agenda, we will have a call to the public at the end of the meeting, and I'll go over those guidelines when we get to that section of the meeting. But we'll start with item 7.1, which is a professional services agreement to conduct an audit of the Lake Havasu City Municipal Airport fixed base operator leases with Aeroplex Group Partners, LLC, DBA Ascension Group Partners, LLC. Ms. Gary.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This item is to consider the approval of a professional services agreement for services out at the airport. The services include a review, inspection, and evaluation of the Lake Havasu City Municipal Airport's fixed-base operators to assure compliance with contractual obligations and responsibilities. Services also include the reviews of the lease policy and property management plan for Lake Havasu City Municipal Airport and the airport operating regulations. This is to help identify any activities that may conflict with or fail to comply with FAA, state, or other requirements and guidance. It's also to help assisting with the remediation and strategies for moving forward with any areas that may need attention. It's also to review and to bring into alignment with the industry's best practices and standards of FBOs and services out at the airport. The services also include a review of just our general current airport operations and activities. It includes a review of the trends and similar airports that are locally and regionally located, and also to provide recommendations for enhancing current operations and to shape the future of the operations at the airport. Lastly, it also includes services to help with the review of the city's airport minimum standards, which are currently in draft. The reason that this specific agreement is coming before council is because it does include an indemnification clause as to the consultant, and so that requires city council approval. Otherwise, it's well below the threshold that would be required to come to the city council. A little bit of history on this item. The concept of doing some sort of audit or deeper review into the activities at the airport actually came alive in 2022. This was as a result of the city receiving complaints that some of the FBOs weren't in compliance with their lease agreements. It's determined at that time the best way to really look into that and to determine what is happening is to just do an audit of all of the activities out at the airport. So we have a better idea moving forward what's being done, what isn't being done, what things do we need to focus on, and what can we do better. On December 10th of 2024, the City Council had a special meeting where we adjourned into executive session, and one of the items that we discussed was fixed-base operator lease agreement audits. As the result of the direction that was received by staff from that executive session, we're bringing forth these services to be completed. The whole purpose of these services are to gather data and information that will allow the city to make informed and educated decisions for the future of the airport, to help us implement strategies to achieve our goals and the needs and the desires of the airport. It's the foundation and the first step that's necessary to achieve these goals. Staff is here and we're happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you, Ms. Gary. Are there comments or questions from members of the council?
I would like to hear from the public.
Yeah, we'll open the public hearing if there are no questions from members. Do you have a?
There is none because I thought Kane was Manager Kane was going to come up and General Kane was going to come up and do the presentation. No?
No, Ms. Gary gave.
Sorry, I misunderstood that.
Okay. Yes.
No questions at this time.
Okay. Any questions or comments? All right, so this is a public hearing. Would anyone like to address the city council on this item? If so, just make your way to the podium and state your name for the record.
Mr. Mayor, council, staff, my name is Darren Craig, 54-year resident here at Lake Havasu, and as far as I know, the oldest leaseholder, as far as chronological time goes at the airport since 2003. I'm not here to talk about the actual FBO leases. What I am asking tonight is to consider tabling this issue for 30 days while we have a chance to talk to staff, meet with staff, see what the real intent of this audit is, what are the ramifications, what could transpire. And I think it's a fair ask. And the reason I say that is we've been told and we've been talking about new or modified lease agreements for years now. And the lease has been in place since 2003. We've been talking about a new lease agreement for the last few years. Nothing's transpired, a lot of hand-wringing and feet dragging. And I don't think it's an unfair ask to say, look, let's just table this for tonight and let's look at it again in 30 days after we have a chance to sit down with staff and discuss the issues at hand. And that's really the crux of it. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Mr. Craig. Would anyone else like to address the City Council on this item? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing and bring it back to council for discussion or possible motion. So, Ms. Carey, if I understand, so this agreement then is really the ability to provide information. And so once we have different data sets based on an analysis of the airport, the FBO leases and other components, any future decision that we make would be an informed decision based on the outcome with a non-biased third-party person coming to look at the operation. Is that correct?
Absolutely. There's no action that's taking place because of these services. These services are here to provide the information that's necessary to strategize and to provide information and to be able to make informed decisions. And so it's just really there as the foundation to be able to have those discussions and to have those meaningful information sessions.
And so based on whatever the outcomes are going to be, because we don't know, the council would then consider those on a case-by-case basis in the future in a public hearing very similar to this to take action if that was something that would occur or be recommended from the outcome of this. Yes. All right. Are there other questions or comments? Oh, yeah, Councilmember Campbell?
Now, Mayor, I do have.
Yes.
I just thought I didn't know how many people were going to come up and talk to me. I've talked to a lot of people at the airport. I think I know more about airports than I thought I ever would in the history of my life. But what I did learn is I do have concerns. I did a little research on these companies as well. And if Mr. General Kane or Manager Kane can come up, I see that there's like a professional service agreement with Aeroplex Partners, LLC. They're also Ascension Group Partners, LLC. And my question would be, is it looks as if that they manage airports. Van Nuys is a good example of that. One side says they're a consultant, the other side says they're like an airport manager. Am I correct on that information? And can you give us a little bit more feedback on the actual company? My concerns is we just had an executive session and I'm not going to talk about it other than I thought that our city manager our city attorney just did an absolutely fabulous job with the amount of history she has at the airport. And it goes back 20 years. She's known all the characters. We have an extremely successful airport if you look about the surrounding airport areas. And I think I'm concerned about why we're just going to an outside entity, another person from outside Lake Havasu City, when we have all the expertise right in this room, including you.
Councilmember Campbell, when we did the request for proposals, we ended up with two. And so when we compared them, they basically provide kind of a full spectrum of those kinds of services. Consulting, management, manage their own FBOs in some cases, as well as airports. So it is the full spectrum of experience, which is one of the reasons why we, when we did ultimately down select for a variety of reasons, we felt best value. We felt that having that be able to have that full dialogue with them and fully understand some of the things that I don't fully understand yet. I mean, I have a lot of experience with aviation and those kinds of things, but these specific things like lease agreements and that kind of language and contract obligations and things, that's kind of new to me.
But I think it would be fair to say that you're there at the operations on a regular basis and your office is right there. And you even drove me around. You seem very knowledgeable about all the characters, the airport, the trials, the problems, the concerns, including when we talked, it was these lease agreements. And if I understand correctly, it was like 2 years ago, Mr. Craig had mentioned that everybody came in the room. I don't believe you were there yet, but they said that they were concerned about updating these leases to be what's current because they've been transferred over and over. And while they all knew that there were some violations going on, or if you want to use the word audit, that's such a big word, but I'm just saying updating the leases. So they were all in the room. I understand it was Hera, Darren Craig, and the Marinellis. And I'm sure, I was told, attorney, you were in there as well, in regards to how can we update these leases, because we all know that there's compliant issues. Is this accurate information? Do you remember?
We've certainly had several meetings over all the years with the airport users out there. I'm gonna back up for just a minute, because as we were directed from executive session, we went out and we did interviews with outside consultants. And so the direction that we went to get an outside consultant was based on the direction that we received from council.
I thought my direction was for you, both the staff was going to work together along with the stakeholders to get all these leases updated.
And that can't violate any of the discussion that we had in the executive session, but we went into detail as to why we wanted to use an outside consultant, and that was ultimately the direction that we received from council.
Okay.
So just to answer the question of why we're using an outside consultant, and that was the direction that was received. And then we went through a interview process, and I sat on that panel and was very impressed with both the consultants that we interviewed and the depth of knowledge that they have. And we believe that the services that they can bring to the city.
What do you feel about the ask that Mr. Craig has just requested this, put it on hold so at least we can have a two-way conversation of what direction are we going, or what participation are we going to have with the stakeholders of Lake Havasu City, who have, as like he said, being one of the longest leaseholders, he said that my door is always open. Attorney, you also told us that you have constant conversations with them, and what they feel right now is that there was nobody contacting them on this. They just got an agenda. Here we are, and they feel that they would love to at least been taken to the table and asked, which direction are you going? Like, give me some certainty. That's what they're asking. Some certainty, and have a conversation prior to spending $26,000 on an outside consultant that may not have near the knowledge. I think you're understating yourself. I know how much knowledge you have, and I know how much knowledge you have. And I'm concerned about somebody from the outside of Lake Havasu City knowing better about what our airport needs and wants. And those are my big concerns on this right now. I really think that we should give the stakeholders a chance to have a conversation. I don't think 30 days is going to make a difference right now. That's my concern.
I definitely
Mr. Mayor?
think that.
Councilmember Dolan, if you can just, Ms. Gary, did you have?
I was just going to respond to the question as far as whether we table it or not. We'd like to get started with gathering the facts and the information, and absolutely whatever the results are, whatever we're gathering, we're going to be working with the users and the FBOs and the people at the airport. That you kind of think about it, if you own a business and you get audited, like you get audited and you go through the process and you work through all of those things. I don't know the benefit of meeting in advance of the audit to like a pre-audit by city, but if that's what council desires, I mean, we would be happy to do that, but it would still like to see moving forward on the audit process. It's something that we've talked about for many years now, and it really just depends on what council is comfortable with. But the sooner that we start gathering the facts and the information, the sooner we can kind of start strategizing and moving forward and making those decisions.
One more question, and then Mr. Councilmember Dolan, I just wanted to say, does that mean this $26,000, let's just say they come through and they're going to tell you, yes, we all know that there has been some changes to the leases from 2003 on up. We know that. Everybody in the room already knows that. Now, let's say they go through that this. Is this just like a scope where they say, these are our concerns, shut the door, and then the staff takes those concerns and runs with them from that point on? Or is that now, here's another $100,000 contract for us to fix the problems for you?
So like I kind of outlined when I gave my presentation, within the scope are all the types of services that they're going to help us. So they're part of the review and the analysis, bringing back recommendations, talking about strategies, looking at more globally, not just the FBOs, but looking more globally at the activities that are occurring at the airport, looking at our regulations, helping us with our minimum standards and getting all of that on this path moving forward. And so all of that is encompassed within this scope of work.
This $26,000 will do even more, do it all, like literally give us
everything that's in this scope. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Councilmember Dolan?
Yeah, I had a comment, but I do have a question for Mr. Kane. I mean, it sounds like, of course, council has, we gave consensus. We wanted to have the audit. Is it something you welcome as one of the hospital or the airport administrator? I mean, it sounds like you do, but I just want to confirm that it's something that, we're not forcing on staff, but staff is welcoming this and they see it as a valuable tool based on where we are at the moment.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. And I just for a comment, I mean, I have spoken with some people out there. I do understand the uncertainty. I mean, I know we know we have issues with the leases. We know that. And as Mr. Craig said, we've talked about it, that we were going to sit at the table and we were going to, drop some new leases that are realistic. And I think, my understanding after talking with the city attorney and the city manager, that's what we're working towards. That gives us that information. We can sit down and talk about that right now, but if we don't have the information on how to redo those leases and how to do them, this gives us that tool. So I think there is an uncertainty with the FBOs that they're a little nervous. Well, we're going to find stuff. Well, we already know there's issues, services not provided or certain things. We know those, but then how do we level the playing field? And I think this council has done this over the last many years is, we try to clean things up and bring them current. So we're all playing by the same rules and the rules make sense. And so, with my experience at the airport, over the years, we've had the FBOs beg us to do this, that they know there's issues, but a lot of times it's been, well, this FBO is not doing their job, but I'm doing everything 100% and I could pass an audit. Well, I think this definitely just gives us that tool to be able to do it. So I do appreciate Mr. Kane working on this with us so we can get this done. And it's something we've been looking for a while. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Councilmember Dolan. Vice Mayor Lynn?
Mr. Mayor, I don't know a lot about audits, and I'll be honest about that. How many conversations or what kind of conversations will be held with the people doing the audit and our actual staff and our leaseholders out there? Do they have conversations with them?
Have they already, or as part of the process?
I guess part of the process. Obviously, they haven't yet because we haven't hired them.
Ms. Carey?
Yes, absolutely. As part of the process is having dialogue with staff, having dialogue with the FBOs, digging in, finding out what's happening. And so it's very interactive.
When I'm reading what they're going to do, I don't know where that happens. When I'm reading the scope of what they're going to do, I don't see where those conversations are being had in here. It's not specific. I see conducting reviews, identifying, but where are they talking to our staff? Where are they talking to the leaseholders?
So initially, once they start reviewing and developing the report, talking about it, it's also to review and report, result in the framework and the plan for the execution of the audits. So that framework isn't necessarily in the scope, but that's part of being developed once they start gathering the information.
Can we add that so that there's a guarantee that they're talking to those people? No? It's too late to do that?
No, it's not too late. It's not too late if you want something more specific in there as far as what exactly do you want it to state? Or what's the expectation?
Yeah,
well, I guess what I'm looking for is I want to guarantee that they're going out there and they're talking to our leaseholders out there to getting the actual information and not just basing it on reviews of other airports or anything. I want them to know what we're doing in our airport. And the only way they're going to be able to do that is talking to our leaseholders and to our staff that's out there. So I'm not sure where to put this in there. Maybe I have some other council members that can maybe help me where you would want to put that.
Councilmember Diaz, did you have?
I'm just looking at what Vice Mayor Lim was saying. There's like 10 items if you count all of them. There's 10 things in the scope of work, and unless I'm looking at it wrong, 6 out of the 10 items are just reviewing like the contract, like that we wrote up as a city and with the FBOs. So like, what shouldn't we know what if our FBOs are adhering to the contract? Why do we have to hire an outside consultant to tell us if someone's not doing? We should be able to have that internal conversation. I guess that's my only concern is with this, is that we're doing a lot. I read them, what they say, and compliance here and adhering here and what they're doing, what they're not. It's 6 of the items are contract negotiation or lease agreement, I should say, lease agreement, compliance items. So I'm a little confused of why we're hiring an outside consultant for $26,000 to do something maybe we should do internally. That's just my point. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, no, thank you, Councilmember Diaz. Looking at these for the rest of my colleagues on the council, it's section 1.1 A through G. So the way that I read it is they're very separate and distinct functions. You know, one is to the review of each FBO, starting with letter A. Going into letter B is the lease policy and the property management plan for the airport, which is much different. And then identify activities that may conflict or fail to comply with our FAA, which again, another very specific ask in that area. So it all has to do with the overall operations, but then it also gets into reviewing the alignment with the industry's best practices, standards of the FBOs, customer service standards, promotion and competitive positioning of the Arizona market, which will be very unique and very valuable information that would also help enhance the implementation of the master plan at the airport. So, I mean, there's lots of different things that are working here. But letter A absolutely does have to do with leases and what we currently have and what's occurring. But
Mayor?
Yeah, Councilmember Campbell?
How long ago was it that we did a master plan, airport plan, and how much was that? It was pretty substantial.
It was in 2020, and I don't know the
2020
amount of money.
It's generally paid for through an FAA grant.
Okay, but FAA grant or not. So we did that 5 years ago in hopes to give ourselves direction. And we haven't used that much. And now we're doing this. And there's one little thing on here that kind of bothers me, that it says city agrees to reimburse consultant for travel costs exceeding $1,000 upon written prior approval. Those kind of contracts kind of bother me. You know, anything over $1,000 for travel, you know, I'm just visualizing these guys have nice planes. They're going to be flying in and out. How much is travel costs going to cost us in the meantime as well? And again, I voted to remove the airport advisory board because that was the direction of everybody. And some even the pilots were saying that as well. And now I go back going, man, I really wish we didn't do that, because I really wish that we had a kind of like a governing body that can assist us with these directions and make sure the transparency. I am so concerned that we are just depending on somebody that helped manage and build and consult for the Van Nuys Airport, and turns around. And Lake Havasu City is very, very unique. I don't think Lake Havasu City has anything to do with California. What do we say? Don't California or Arizona all the time. And I'm worried about, I really believe in the staff that we have here and the people that we have at the airport. I really believe in you guys to work on it. And I know that we gave direction to do the audits, the lease audits. And that was back in December. And now it's 9 months later, and now we're just talking about this consultant. I wish we would have had more progress, I guess, for everybody involved, including myself. But that's where we're at. I still got to process this whole thing, and that's where we're at. And listen to the rest of the council members.
Mr. Mayor.
Yeah, Councilmember Dolan.
Just to clarify, the airport advisory group wouldn't have delved into this, and it's not, the airport advisory group wasn't a governing body. It was just purely advice for anything related to the airport, but it wouldn't have delved into this. This is a legal issue. This is where, we have attorneys, and, the attorneys and the staff are also asking for this help and the tool to do their job. So, in supporting our staff, and, I think we need to give them the tools that they think they can do to get this job done. And just wanted to just clarify on the airport advisory that this wouldn't have been something that was been going through there. So.
Yeah, thank you.
Councilmember Dolan, I think what I'm trying to say is the transparency of the conversations and where people felt, I know it wasn't 100% the airport advisory board. I had heard there was many items that had nothing to do with agenda items but I think that could have worked out too. I just, you hear the pilots, you hear the concerns out at the airport. I know you do. So that's all my concern.
Yeah, Ms. Gary, to Vice Mayor Lynn's point, potentially just trying to find words to add in for some of those concerns. If we added it letter G, again, paragraph 1.1, FBO performance and management audit, down at G under deliverables, it says written findings of audit of current FBO's operations and practices with recommendations for city action, adding words incorporating engagement with staff and FBO leaseholders. Would that suffice to your request, Vice Mayor Lynn?
I would like to see that. I wish that it would have happened before, but if we're going to go ahead with this audit, I'd like to see a guarantee that that's going to happen, that they will be brought to the table. So we're not just going on somebody on the outside, that people who are living that life out there can have their input. So, yeah, that would help me.
Mayor,
Ms. Gary, is that, would that language work within the scope?
Yes, if you'd like to add that, though, we just need that in a motion.
Okay.
When we get to that point.
Thank you. And then Councilmember Campbell?
Mayor, my concern on that is the FBOs, we don't have many out there at this point. I'm really concerned about them engaging with at least one or two stakeholders. We're talking the pilots, anybody that we talked about the coffee with the manager, kind of a experience to come down and listen to the pilots that use that airport and let them know why Lake Havasu City is so unique and wonderful to us. So I love the verbiage that you said FBOs, but it really had nothing to do with the rest of the airport users. So if somehow we can change the verbiage to say some sort of engagements with the FBOs and airport users.
So when it comes to, I appreciate your comments, but this scope of work really is to do a performance and management audit and give us tools. So this is not the master plan, which certainly you would need engagement with the airport users. I don't know when it comes to the scope. I would think having a public listening session or an engagement session with the public would add money to the fee. I don't know that, but in all the other engagement sections we do, it always lists out all of the community engagement. I don't know if that would work in that environment. Ms. Gary, do you have any thoughts on that?
I think that's something that would come from the results of engaging and strategies and possibilities moving forward. This really is to try to gather information so we can decide how to move forward. So it's not to change anything or do anything. It's just so we can get information and then decide how we want to move forward.
Thank you. Is there any additional comments or from members of the council? Councilmember Diaz?
So did we, because I was on the council back then, did we do an airport master plan? It had all this information in it or?
No. Yeah, so an airport master plan is very similar to like the general plan or the parks master plan that we'll consider later on in its current budget year. So it's a document that guides from an overarching perspective the general uses, growth, opportunities for the airport. And it was an intensive plan with engagement from the airport advisory board at that time, airport users. It was a pretty dynamic group of folks that were part of that process.
It had in their uses and visions for the future and all that type of
yes,
stuff.
Yeah, overarching planning document.
Okay.
One last question, I hope.
Yes, Councilmember Campbell.
Do we plan on using them to help us with the future growth? Like we're talking about building hangars, and is this somebody that we think that we might continue contracting with, or because they build airports?
That is a total possibility.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Yes, they did.
All right, if there's no additional discussion, I would entertain a motion. Yeah, if it's made in the motion. Did you want to make the motion? Okay.
Kelly, where do I want to add that in that motion? On what part?
If you just want to add at the end to include a provision in section G regarding engagement with city staff, that would be perfect.
Mayor motion.
Yeah, please, Vice Mayor Lynn.
I move to approve the professional service agreement to conduct an audit of the Lake Havasu City Municipal Airport fixed base operator leases with Aeroplex Group Partners, LLC, DBA Ascension Group Partners, LLC, in the amount not to exceed $26,000. Adding in incorporating engagement with staff and EPIO leaseholders.
Second.
We have a motion from Vice Mayor Lynn and a second from Councilmember Moses. Ms. Gary, does that motion work? Okay. Yeah, thank you. Any additional discussion? Seeing none, we're ready to vote. Councilmember Dolan?
Aye.
Thank you.
Motion carries 5-2.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Kane. Thank you, Ms. Gary. Item 7.2 is resolution number 25-3869, authorizing the submission of an application for federal fiscal year 2026 community development block grant funds, certifying the application meets the community's previously identified housing and community development needs and the requirements of the state CDBG program, and authorizing all actions necessary to implement and complete the activities outlined in the application. Ms. Hernandez.
And city council members, thank you for your time tonight.
Speak into the mic.
Sure. Is that better? Yeah. Okay. While our department administers both the CDBG and home programs, tonight I'm here solely to focus on the CDBG owner-occupied housing rehabilitation program, which continues to make a profound difference in our community. This program uses federal funds to make critical repairs and improvements for low to moderate income homeowners here in Lake Havasu City. These are essential safety and weatherization repairs, leaking roofs, broken HVAC systems, plumbing, electrical hazards, and homes that are no longer accessible to seniors or persons with disabilities. The best part of this program, there's no cost to apply, and eligible homeowners can receive life-changing support without any repayment. When we fix one home, we just don't help one person. We create a ripple effect that strengthens the entire community. One of our recent projects involved replacing a severely damaged roof that had caused significant ceiling damage inside the home. What was once a structure weakened by years of wear and tear is now a safe and solid improvement, enhancing both the home and the surrounding neighborhood. Every roof we replace, every bathroom we renovate is done by locally licensed contractors, many of whom are small businesses, and all general contractors are approved vendors through the city and the state procurement process, ensuring both quality and compliance. This keeps our tax dollars circulating here in Lake Havasu, creating jobs and sustaining our local economy. In one home, a failing air conditioner led to a disabled senior being hospitalized due to heat exposure. Thanks to this program, we installed a new energy-efficient unit, allowing the homeowner to return safely. Another homeowner with a disability was left without a functioning bathroom after attempting to modify it themselves. We were able to rebuild the space and restore their dignity and independence. In this last 2-year grant cycle, we will have invested approximately $556,000 into direct homes repairs, helping 16 homeowners stay safely housed. These repairs weren't only cosmetic, they were essential. For many, they prevented injuries, stabilized health conditions, and avoided much costlier interventions. Each rehab home represents not just improved safety, but also reduced code violations, increasing energy efficiency and stronger community roots. I've had the privilege of meeting many incredible residents through this program, people who have worked their whole lives and just need a little help to remain in their homes that they love. CDBG rehabilitation isn't just about replacing roofs or water heaters. It's about preserving families' dignities, restoring their safety, and creating stability. Tonight, I respectfully ask for your support in adopting tonight's resolution, which will allow the city to pursue this program further. Thank you for your time and your continued support, and for believing in a program that delivers lasting results. And I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Thank you, Ms. Hernandez. Do any members of the council have any questions for Ms. Hernandez on this item? Vice Mayor Lynn?
Mr. Mayor. Yeah, I'm very familiar with these grants. Is there a max that applicant is able to receive?
Yes, thank you for the question. So I believe they just were redone in June. And so for one person, the max would be 43,200. And then for a couple, it goes on up there. It goes up to a family of 8. But yes, they all do have to income qualify.
Thank you.
Yeah, Councilmember Diaz.
Are we looking at helping like 10 different applicants with this money? It is 464,000.
Thank you for the question. It does vary. It depends. When we go in, we have a intergovernmental agreement with Mojave County, and we have a certified inspector who goes with me. We take a look at the home. They do weatherization. They plug in all sorts of fancy equipment to make sure that the house is, what needs to be done. And then we make recommendations off of that. So some projects are larger and some are smaller. So this year I was able to help more families because some of the projects weren't as extensive as others.
The first come, first serve, like whoever applies for it first, is that how it goes?
Yes, there's a little bit to that. So it's first come, applications first in. But obviously, if someone has a gaping hole in their roof, they kind of move up to the list, and we try and help everybody as quickly as possible.
Any additional questions from members of the council? All right, this is a public hearing. Would anyone like to address the city council on this item? If so, just make your way to the podium and state your name for the record. Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing, bring it back to council for discussion or possible motion. All right, Councilmember Diaz.
I move to adopt resolution number 25-3869, authorizing the submission of an application to the state of Arizona Department of Housing for federal full year 2026 CDBG funds, and authorize the mayor to sign the application and contract or grant documents for receipt and use of these funds for owner-occupied housing rehabilitation, and authorize and directs the city manager to take all action necessary to implement and complete the activities submitted in the application, subject to review and approval of the city attorney.
Second. We have a motion from Councilmember Diaz, a second from Councilmember Moses. Is there any additional discussion? Seeing none, we're ready to vote. Councilmember Dolan?
Aye.
Thank you.
Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you. Next item is item 7.3, bid for the 2025 water main replacement project to Mountain High Excavating LLC. Good evening, Mr. Cummings.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Can you hear me okay? Tonight I have for you the 2025 water main replacement project. It's kind of an extension of what we've been doing over the course of the last couple of years. Purpose? Continuation of the city's effort to replace water mains, fire hydrants, water services based on age, material, size, and the history of breaks. Ensure the fire hydrants are up to the fire code. Improve, improve overall circulation and quality. The schedule is 220 days, approximately 7 months. And the completion date is mid-March of 2025. I'm sorry? The replacement criteria is as follows: the diameter of pipe. In some cases, there's a very thin-walled 4-inch PVC, which happens to break quite often. So we'd like to replace that with 6-inch. And along a coma will be 6-inch and 8-inch. Material is C900. Right now it's AC or asbestos, or in some cases that thin-walled PVC that we've been having trouble with lately. PSI, it's really all over the place. Down at the bottom of Acoma is right around 70, and at the top of Acoma could crest as much as 130. And in those neighborhoods, the additive alternates, they hover around 125 PSI. Break history on Acoma, there's been several since 2022, and then on the side roads, which I'll show you next in one of the slides, there's been quite a few breaks in the last year or two. And again, replacing the 4-inch and switching to 6-inch is going to help that a lot. And the age of pipe is right around mid 60s, early 70s in off Acoma and in these areas. The engineer's estimate base bid was $3,648,728. The 4 additive alternates are $1,115,860. We had 4 bids that were received, and the lowest bid came in at $3,575,694 with the 4 added alternates, and that's Mountain High Excavating out of Flagstaff. On this job, we'll replace 12,300 linear feet of 6-inch, 8-inch water main, water services, and fire hydrants. And this last slide shows you kind of a vicinity map. In bold is the base bid. So it goes from Fremont Drive all the way up to Wood Lane, down Wood Lane, and then over to your right side, there's a couple streets, 3 streets over there. And then the added alternates are highlighted in light blue. There's 4. And we've had some problems in these roads with brakes and with pressures, especially Pony Lane and Pony Place. We've had, I think, 5 in the last 2 years breaks on that road. So with that, that includes my presentation, and I'll take any questions you have.
Thank you, Mr. Cummings. Are there questions for Mr. Cummings?
Yes.
Yeah, Councilmember Campbell? Yes.
That is very exciting that you got 4 bids. And it was very exciting to see that was almost $1,188,000 below our engineered estimate, which is fabulous. Is there any way, if we all approve this tonight, that we will be able to do a change order to add even more?
I'm glad you brought that up, because we're actually looking at a few extra roads, one in particular that we're going to add back in, and there could be more. I would have to talk to staff about that, but we do have room to add more streets to that.
That's what I would hope for. Yeah,
absolutely.
And just for the people out there, when you do become the lowest bidder and you do have extra money in the budget, you can do a change order, and it's based on the same cost analysis that they were given before. So that's always a positive thing for all of us in Lake Havasu City to get more of these mains fixed. And thank you so much for all your work.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Vice Mayor Lynn, did you have a question?
I don't know. I'm trying to look at these numbers. Can you tell me, I'm looking at their scope work on the connecting to the existing water line, why they're so different? Like, is there a reason why? Like, they're so different on some of their quotes?
I know what you're getting at. And the bids are off, if you're looking at the highest bid versus the lowest bid, right? Mm-hmm. Contractors can, they can put their money where they want to. And in this case, I think that maybe, and I did talk this through with the contractor as well, so maybe he just misunderstood what that meant. But after I explained cross-street connection or a connection, he assured me that his prices were honorable and he can work with those prices. So
Okay.
But I guess answering your question, yeah, there's a bit of a spread.
Yeah, I was just wondering if is it a difficult thing? Why some find it easier to do and others find it way more difficult to do?
No, I think they're all very good at their trade. They do this often, all contractors that bid our work. So some may think it's easier than others, yeah. And traffic control has something to play into that too.
So it's not a challenge so much on our side. Okay.
No, I don't believe so.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Any other questions or comments before we open the public hearing? All right. This is a public hearing. Would anyone like to address the city council on this item?
Good evening, Mayor, City Council. I was just curious if our city infrastructure for the 4-inch pipe is already having problems. 6 inches is going to improve it for how long, and should there be bigger pipes instead of 6-inch? Because our population is going to be increasing. I don't see our population decreasing anytime soon.
Yeah, Mr. Cummings, you have, I'm sure, had all of this engineered, and this is what the engineers are suggesting? Yeah, so it's all been engineered to upgrade from 4-inch to 6-inch. They take into account that current and future uses based on that.
And one more thing on that it looks like a lot of these neighborhoods are already built out. It would be kind of uncommon for them to, like all along Acoma and some of these spots already have all the houses. There's not many empty lots. But so really going from the 4-inch to the 6-inch is a big improvement for us already for water main.
And how long will it last?
These probably lasted almost 20. Go ahead. Sorry. I'm becoming the expert here. Excuse me.
Well, I would, the last water main put in these particular areas were late 1960s, 70s. So moving forward with the thick-walled C900, which is comparable to ductile iron, will last. I'll last that by a long shot.
Well, how long do they last in cities that are not 120 on a regular basis?
120 psi. Is that what you're asking me?
Heat and degrees, and then the bigger cities, basically.
Yeah, I don't really have an answer to that. I can only go off of how long asbestos pipe is lasts versus PVC, and I believe that PVC would outlast asbestos by many years. Not to mention we're also moving towards we are installing what's called Municepex pipe. So instead of copper services, which are water's pretty corrosive to that, we go to a Municepex pipe, which is a thick-walled plastic pipe for services as well, and those are also encased inside conduit. So we really are trying, I think, to get the longevity of our water mains way beyond their life expectancy. So hopefully answer that for you.
Would anyone else like to address the city council on this matter? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing, bring it back to council for discussion or possible motion.
Mayor, I motion.
Councilmember Campbell?
I move to award the base bid and 4 additive alternates for the 2025 water main replacement projects to the Mountain High Excavating in the amount of $3,575,694.
Second.
We have a motion from Councilmember Campbell, a second from Councilmember Diaz. Is there any additional discussion? Seeing none, we're ready to vote. Councilmember Dolan?
Aye.
Thank you.
Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you. Our final public hearing of the evening is item 7.4, amendments to the airport fixed-based operator leases, consent to assignment of leases, and estoppel certificates regarding the transfer of airport sites 3 and 4 fixed-based operator leases from Desert Skies Executive Air Terminal, LLC to Havasu Air Center, LLC. Ms. Gary?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Lake Havasu City received a request to consent to the transfer of the fixed-based operator leases for sites 3 and 4 at the Lake Havasu City Municipal Airport from Desert Skies Executive Air Terminal, Desert Skies, to Havasu Air Center, HAC. Both lease agreements have within them a term that allows assignment upon the consent of the city. So that is why this item is before you tonight, is to whether or not the city is going to consent to the assignment and transfer of the leases for Site 3 and for Site 4. The Site 3 FBO lease was originally executed in 1992 and assigned to Desert Skies in 2007. This FBO lease expires on September 30th, 2027. Site 3 includes a restaurant, hangars, and office space as shown on the attached map that was included in your council packet. The Site 4 FBO lease was originally executed in 2008 and assigned to Desert Skies in 2014. Site 4 includes hangars, office space, and a pool. Before moving forward with the consent, certain amendments were necessary to each of the agreements. These amendments include things like correcting a name and correcting the legal description, adding in some terms related to liens and mortgages, adding terms as to termination in the event of violation of any FAA grant assurances, and also adding in the FAA grant assurance contract requirements. This was in order to clean up the agreements before they are transferred. And so that way the agreements that are passed on, if they are approved tonight under the consent, the agreements will be cleaned up. The next document is the consent. And just by this agreement, the city is consenting to the assignment and assumption for each lease from Desert Skies to Havasu Air Center. The last document for each site is an estoppel certificate. This estoppel is offered to a lender. It provides verification of the lease and the lease terms, talks about the term of the lease, that they are current with the lease payments, that there are no bankruptcy actions, no pending disputes, and no defaults. Each of these agreements have been thoroughly reviewed by the parties and are approved as to form from a legal perspective. And I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you, Ms. Gary. Are there any questions or comments from members of the council? All right, this is a public hearing. Would anyone like to address the city council on this item? If so, just make your way to the podium and state your name for the record. Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing, bring it back to council for any discussion or possible motion.
I'll make a motion if there's no other discussion.
Yeah, Councilmember Diaz.
I move to approve the second amendment to the fixed base operator lease for Site 3 and for the first amendment to the fixed base operator lease for Site 4 and the consent to assignment of leases and estoppel certificates for airport sites 3 and 4.
Second.
We have a motion from Councilmember Diaz and a second from Councilmember Campbell. Is there any additional discussion? Seeing none, we're ready to vote. Councilmember Dolan?
Aye.
Thank you.
Motion carries 5-2.
Thank you. Item 8 is the call to the public. This is where citizens have the opportunity to address the city council on items within the jurisdiction of Lake Havasu City. Your comments are limited to 3 minutes. We do ask that you address directly to the council. We can't have a two-way conversation during this time, but we can listen intently and respond to any criticism that may potentially arise or direct staff. You don't have to sign up for a call to the public, but we did have one citizen sign up, so we'll start with Kelly Lane. And then we'll open up to anyone else that would like to address the council at call to the public. Good evening, Ms. Lane. Welcome.
Mr. Mayor, City Council. I just have a concern that I would like to address because I didn't know where to take it regarding the median that's now been placed on 95, whether you read Facebook, the newspaper, whatever. A good median can save lives. A bad median can take lives. And after seeing that and trying to get measurements from the newspaper about how wide the left lane is, I could get no information on the actual width of it. All I could read is that you, Mr. Mayor, are looking for some safety information from ADOT. I also noticed that I could get no information on actually who designed this median. Pretty soon the snowbirds are going to be here with RVs, which range in size from 8 feet to 10 feet. That leaves a curb 6 inches high. When your wheel hits it, you blow it. And then when you blow it and there's no place to pull over and there's a car on the right side, you have nowhere to go. When the truck in front of you is driving and a ladder falls out of the truck, which happens, we have a lot of construction knocked down, there's nowhere to go. I read that it was designed basically to keep people from crossing over. A 6-inch median is not going to stop a car going 70 miles an hour from going in the wrong lane. It's not going to happen. I'm just wondering what the people can do who are concerned about the safety of their lives, which is poorly visible, to do some improvements on that median. A median would be necessary. Why it was designed that way and who designed it, everybody is questioning it, and I'm really concerned about what happens when the snowbirds and the boat trailers and the people are driving down that road. If people are going too fast, maybe a few tickets on that road would slow people down a little bit. I've never seen anybody be pulled over for a ticket on that road. So to me, my understanding was that roads are to prevent mistakes, help people drive safely, and I would just like some transparency in who you're getting this information about safety from and how the residents can get some information to keep them safe on that road. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. So we can have a two-way conversation. But if you stay after the meeting, come over and see me and we'll talk.
Okay. That's good. Thank you.
Yes. Would anyone else like to address the city council during call to the public? Please just make way to the podium and state your name for the record.
My name's Kim Sweet.
Hi.
Cal. This is the first time I've ever done this, so I'm not sure how it works, but I want to go back to the issue with the contract for the consultant for the airport. And I just wanted to, I'm thinking of the wrong word. I want to praise Councilman Campbell and Diaz for their no vote because I agree with you 100%. I think if it can be done in-house, it should be done in-house instead of spending $26 for a consultant. Seems like we're consultant crazy nowadays, and I don't agree with that. I'm very concerned about the way the city spends money, and I'd like to see it be spent more wisely. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Sweet. Would anyone else like to address city council during call to the public?
Good evening, Council. Dante Marinelli, Havasu Center. Wanted to thank you folks for some positive results tonight on our lease transfer. We did want to also bring up the fact publicly that we will welcome the audit and obviously work with the consultants to hopefully bring about a positive change if there is need to be at the airport. Ultimately, we feel very proud about what we've done at the airport, and we'd like to share that with anyone who wants to talk to us about it. So that's on that. One more thing. 2 weeks ago, we had a pretty contentious item come before you guys with the fee collection agency that we were talking about. We as a FBO feel that obviously any kind of strength of the airport that we can bring through fees that are reasonable and justified to the flying public. And we're here to offer that as something that we would welcome some conversation on to try and help the city collect on in a way that benefits all of us, not just a third party, and in a way that I think the public might actually respond to. And I think it's a win-win for everyone if it's done in the proper way and with the proper timing. Anytime that you send a fee 30 days later after the time of transaction, no one's going to like that. No one's going to like that when you do it at a restaurant or a hotel. Certainly no one likes to do it at an airport. So I think there's a way that can be worked out. And I also think recently the fire department, Pete, has been doing a great job and supporting our services out there and doing a lot of stuff with the ARF. I know that that may be incurring some fees, and we want to talk about ways to possibly look at collecting those back as well. I think there are ways to look at doing that vis-a-vis a fuel flowage fee directly, specifically for the military. And we wanted to open the conversation to that as well. These are all things that come from having one strong FPO provider at the airport. And these conversations can't happen when you have multiple people because it doesn't work. So ultimately, these are things that we're working towards at the airport. We'd like to see these things brought up and changed. And we're here to just publicly say thank you for your support at the airport and all your attention. and hopefully it'll be a couple of months before you see me back up here. So, well, but ultimately, as I said, we wanted to say thank you, and we appreciate the council support. Thank you.
Mr. Marinelli. Would anyone else like to address the city council during call to the public? All right, seeing none, we'll close the call to the public, and we'll move on to item 9 on our agenda, which is current events. Are there any council committee reports?
Mayor, I have an interesting thing that just came up in our last MPO meeting this past week, Metropolitan Planning Organization. And we had some great speakers there. One was President Rose, which was the airport, National Airport president. And another one was the Contractors Association as well, Arizona Contractors Association President Martin. And one of the conversations that we have constantly, and the reason why I'm bringing this up today, because it was our conversation there, and it's really crazy, maybe it's not, that I would love for some feedback. I really want it. You guys can get my email. I want to hear from our constituents and our community. Roads and infrastructure is the highest rated item on our surveys. People are most concerned about our roads. And what we found out is 75% of all roads are within municipalities. They're in local government municipalities. Most of our funding goes to state highways, ADOT, and other items, leaving us with a deficit. Years back, they were even sweeping our HERF funding, which is our gas fuel taxes. As we all know, our gas fuel taxes are reducing on a regular basis. Why? Because our cars are more efficient than they used to be. I think Lake Havasu City should have golden roads because we have so many vehicle license tax in every one of our storage units. I think we probably have more fuel that, like with all the boats and everything else, it just blows me away the little bit that we get allocated from the state. So there has been a conversation that has been going around with other states. One of the other states, 2 states actually have put into place what's called a retail tax, a retail delivery tax. What this looks like is, for the first time ever, you guys can probably all admit to seeing it yourself. We have more commercial vehicles in our local neighborhoods than ever in the history. And I don't think it's going away. I can sit and watch 5 and 6 Amazon delivery drive up through commercial vehicle, doing U-turns in our neighborhood and heading back out. A couple hours later, you see another one and another one. Well, 2 states, Connecticut and Montana, had made the decision to put a 25-cent per delivery fee onto every retail delivery. I know it's a big ask, and I'm a conservative and all this, but it starts to make a little bit of sense to me. If in return those 27 cents per package delivered goes to local neighborhood roads, so that we can have better improvement. Here's the conversation too, that they said that there's a lot of people that I'm using Amazon, I'm talking all retail deliveries into a neighborhood. If you go into an Amazon package, you can say, hey, I want to order this and I want to order this and I want this. Well, you go and say, I want this one next tomorrow and then Wednesday. But there is a little thing down at the bottom that says, if I want all 5 packages delivered at once, it reduces your shipping costs. And then again, you would only be charged 27 cents one time. If not, you're going to get charged 5 times 27 cents. Let's just say you hate the idea of having to pay a fee for your gifts that you're getting to your house on anything. You have the ability to get in your car and do what? Stimulate the local economy and buy local. This has taken off that 10 other states, including Nevada, North Dakota, I can't remember all the names, that are all looking into it right now. Our MPO, this next meeting coming up, which is, I believe October, we're going to have one in September. I won't be attending. I have a 40th wedding anniversary. I'll be in Portugal. So they're holding off, and we're coming back and having this discussion, which is open to the public as well. Not the MPO. I'm sorry. It's a RTAC. Yes. I'm MPO and RTAC a lot alike. So Metropolitan Planning Organization. I'm talking about Rural Transportation Advocacy Council. Kind of the same thing, but a little different. Wrong anchor. But so it's Rural Transportation Advocacy Council, RTAC. So what do? Is we lobby for rural Arizona. That's what we do. It's a bipartisan group. all across rural Arizona, and we support the needs of rural transportation. So we are going to have the discussion if we want to sponsor potentially a bill for Arizona. And we've already gotten substantial feedback from people that want to support the bill. Now, this is a big conversation. This is probably the first time you're hearing it, especially in this chamber. But I would love for you guys to talk to people. I'd love your feedback before we move on to possibly attempting to move a bill through that might make sense for all of Arizona. That's what I have to say. And I thank you guys for listening. Again, it was not the Metropolitan Planning Organization, is the Rural Transportation Advocacy Council, which is another hub of that. But thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Campbell. Are there any other council committee reports?
Mr. Mayor.
Vice Mayor Lynn?
I just wanted to give a little shout out to our Hyatt kids, our Havasu Advisory Youth Council. They attended the league with us with Miss Ari and Miss Bloom, and they did a wonderful job representing us down there. They acted respectful. They went to conferences. They went to a couple of our seminars. So I just wanted to give a shout out to them.
Thank you, Vice Mayor Lynn. Any other council committee reports?
Mayor, one little part that I missed on that would include funding for local airports as well.
All right. Item 10 is future meetings. Our next meeting is on Tuesday, September 9th, 2025 at 5:30 p.m. It's a regular meeting. And then on Tuesday, September 23rd, 2025, also at 5:30 p.m., we'll have a regular meeting. Item 11, are there any future discussion items? Item 12, motion to adjourn. We are adjourned. Thank you for being here. Be kind, and we'll see you next time.